What's up, Battle Buddies? It would yet again not be another Travel Battles video without doing something different. Now, we always say we're doing something different, but I think this really takes the cake because this is taking a lot of research and planning, but we are at Mels Diner, the original Mels Diner. That's right, so if you are a fan of Universal Studios Hollywood or Universal Orlando Resort, you know all about Mels Diner, but we're here to get down into the history and the origins of what Mels Diner is and how it was brought to Universal Studios.
After seeing the Blue Angels, we are very, very hungry. And the Blue Angels show was amazing. It was really cool. So thank you, Sergeant Vasquez, for hooking us up. It was freaking awesome. It was fun. The whole family had fun. I've never been to Mels Diner. I don't think any one of us have ever been to Mels Diner or Mels Drive-In. So this is going to be interesting. But it sounds good. The food sounds really good. What's crazy, and this was unplanned, when we went to see the Blue Angels, they started in April 24th, 1946. The first ever Mels Diner opened up in 1947. That's so crazy. We're doing it like in sequential order.
It is, yeah.
So this is crazy. It's destiny. Let's see.
The Blue Angels started in 1946, and the first Mels Drive-In started in 1947 because back then everyone wanted a restaurant that they can just drive their car in on a date night or a family night, and Mels Drive-In was right there in the middle of it. And back then is when all of the car hops were really popular, and it quickly turned into a chain in the 1950s. So that's how quick this concept grew and expanded, flourished and thrived, and it actually started spreading across Northern California, mostly through San Francisco and the Bay Area. Unfortunately, in 1972 is when drive-through restaurants, like fast food type restaurants, started to pop up and become more popular due to the convenience for families driving through to get a quick bite to eat after dinner or after work for dinner. And so Mels started to kind of die down their popularity.
Way up above, so tough, sunset 10 in the dust. Why must it be, can't you see, just like that, to get away from the rest so we can relax.
However, in 1972 is when things really started to kind of take a turn, because if you did not know, the American Graffiti movie created by George Lucas featured the one in San Francisco, changed its name to Burger City for the movie. So if you check that out, you might be able to see the original location. So you have to please forgive me, as the history of Mels Drive-In, Mels Diner, the original Mels, all has a deep-rooted history here in California. So please bear with me as I'm trying to understand it myself, but it is so interesting to see. And we are at the peak of what Mels Drive-In in San Francisco were living as they were featured in the American Graffiti movie. Unfortunately, just 4 years later, that original location was demolished, and that was the end of what we knew of Mels Drive-In. Now the father and son, David Mel Weiss and Stephen Weiss, came together, father and son, and they collabed to create what we would now call the next generation of Mels Drive-In and Mels Dine-In. And this original next generation Mels opened up in 1985 on Lombard Street in San Francisco. So still keeping that original factor of in the Bay Area, but a new concept, a little more modern take on it, and still that original iconic 50s and 60s diner feel that we love, kind of reminisce on today. 4 years later, 1989, Mels started to expand down into Southern California. So they have one on the Sunset Strip, And that one is a cool story because Ford, years later into 2014, Ford, the motor company, ended up filming one of their introductions and showcases of the Mustang right there in Mels. I guess they wanted that iconic 50s vibe that Ford really loved. And so that is where we got the first look of the 2014 Ford Mustang. Now we reach 1998, and I'm sure there's much history between the years, but I'm just trying to get to the major bullet points that stuck out to me. They opened a new location back on the original street that the first Mels was on, Van Ness Avenue in San Francisco. So they're really trying to get back to their roots, back to what they were known for, and get that iconic location, or at least as close to it that they possibly could get.
The chicken is very crispy. It also has like spaghetti meatballs in it.
The San Francisco melt or something like that. So it's basically like a patty melt. So it's very carnivore forward. So you had the patty, the cheese, the bacon. The avocado actually helped cut through the fattiness and the richness of the meat and the cheese, which I liked. And the bread was toasted nicely and it was nice and buttery. The fries, they weren't like anything crazy like the website mentioned, but they were really good. Hand cut fries, like natural hand cut fries. Is that what you would call it? So that was really good. And yeah, and then we finished it off with a malt milkshake, and hands down 5 out of 5. It is a little bit pricey, but 5 out of 5. And I'm curious to see how the one in Hollywood differs, if their menu's the same.
And I had to go ahead and get your classic chili cheese hot dog with the fries on top, and I swear it was 2 hot dogs underneath all of that chili and cheese. I could have just eaten a plate of the fries, the hand-cut fries, with the chili cheese on top. That was delicious. But overall, it was all amazing. Customer service amazing. The whole building was super clean. And the food, the menu is very overwhelming, but the food is delicious. At least everything we got. And like Louis said, he finished off with a malt milkshake. I had to get a classic chocolate milkshake, and it is delicious. A perfect way to end the whole meal. So
give me Cabana Bay vibes.
Cabana Bay vibes, yeah. I can't believe it took us this long to check this place out. I'm so glad we were able to come here. We happen to move to California where it is a thing, and we've been waiting to see it and come check it out ourselves. So 5 out of 5 for me. I think collectively it gets a badge of honor here at the original Mels. And now I think we're going to be on to Hollywood. So see you at the Universal Hollywood Mels Dine-In. Just like that, we are at Universal Studios Hollywood at Mels Dine-In. So let's go see what kind of food they have and how it compares to the original Mels. Normally, they would have a bunch of amazing outdoor seating here, but right now they have a partition wall because of an event coming up, which we will be attending, and I'm pretty sure that video will come up before this one. They are changing it all to Back to the Future theme for FanFest, but we're here to check out the regular food that Mels Dine-In provides and see how it compares. So let's go check it out. Probably wondering, Mels Diner and the original Mels, how are they the same when the name is different, logos are different? So once the father and son split, the son kept the Mels Diner, Mels Drive-In business, and the dad is who got the original Mels and continued on in North California. And I am wearing my Mels Dine-In shirt to kind of commemorate Orlando at Universal Orlando Resort, because theirs is the Mels drive-in, and that's why they have all the classic cars outside, and their marquee kind of dies out during HHN, so it's kind of to commemorate Orlando, which unfortunately we can't include our review of that one in this video. So they had the memorabilia for the Mels drive-in in the back of the where we order and where the team members were making the food, and so it kind of ties in all of the locations together. And so this being the Mels Diner or Mels Dine-In is kind of more alongside of the Sun's take on the Mels business and diners.
The price that we paid here is much cheaper than what we paid at the original Mels. And we also saved about $10 with the annual pass here.
First impression when we walk in, it does give off the 50s diner vibes. A little more lively, I feel, than the original Mels that we went to. However, I am missing probably the most iconic thing about 50s diners, and that's the jukebox. The original Mels had them kind of everywhere. The large one and then the smaller ones at each table, I guess, or at each booth. And this one, I have not seen any. Now, I do know when they remodeled the one in Orlando, they did make it a little more authentic with the jukebox and everything. So that's one thing I am missing. So I'm going to say a negative point for that. But everything else, it's very on theme.
Now the menu, I didn't think the menu was going to be extensive just because it's a theme park, and it wasn't. It wasn't an extensive menu at all. However, they did have specialty food items for FanFest, which we did not order, but we will end up ordering when we show up for FanFest. But the items, they seem very limited. There's just like 3 things for food, a couple things for drinks. Wait time, I felt like it took longer here to get our food compared to the original Mels. So that could be, and it wasn't that busy. So it could be maybe they're understaffed, or the food is that fresh. I don't know. But the food was good here, so.
I'd say the biggest problem that I have, menu being very limited, because at the original Mels Diner, there were so many options, and I got like a chicken sandwich with marinara sauce, but here, I don't believe they have it. Me and my dad got the classic Mels burger. It was pretty good, but it's also because it's theme park food. They're gonna have their similarities but also differences. We also got a chocolate shake again here. It was pretty good here, but I believe the one at the original, it tasted cleaner, but here it tasted like a classic theme park shake. That's what's to be expected. Overall, the food was really good. I just wish the menu was much bigger.
I'm with Aaliyah. The food was really good. The fries did taste different here, and I like them better here. So I don't know if it's the quality of the fry or the way they fried it. For the drink, I got the Hollywood Cream Coke. It looked good on the menu. At first sip, it was good, and then when I got midway through, the coconut kept having like a weird aftertaste. Not my favorite. Out of 5, I would give that maybe a 3. The burger and fries, I would give that a 5. It hit the spot, and we were also freaking starving too, so.
I think overall, the flavor of the chili cheese dog that I got at the original Mels had more flavor, and the bread was softer. The bread here was a little hard, like it had been sitting out for a little bit, but the portion sizes here are more reasonable. I think they gave us way too much food at the original Mels. So much of it was just leftovers. Here, it's like we finished our food and we're good. We're ready to go hit up the park and enjoy the rest of the day. We're not miserable, ready to go take a long nap. Overall, it's exactly kind of what you would think about a theme park diner food. So it hit the spot, and we all found something delicious that we love. So I can't really complain.
So we just got hit with a real-time review leaving the restaurant. I was like, oh my gosh, what did we say? So they gave us the scale of 1 to 5. I'm like, oh man, that's our scale. Like,
I'm not good with 1 to 10 scale, so yeah, that was ironic.
So I guess collectively we gave it a 4 out of 5. Just some theming issues. I mean, there wasn't a lot of memorabilia in there like the other Mels has.
Yeah.
And the cleanliness, you had to clean out the table and stuff like that.
Yeah, which we may have
minor things.
Yeah, it could have been as simple as we came in at a bad time. I mean, they were probably in the middle of a shift change or just got hit with a big rush right before we came in and didn't realize it. So we did have to wait a little bit of time as well for our food, which was one of the reasons why we dropped it down to a 4. Knowing this is a place where things typically go quickly, especially with families who are here on a vacation and they need to get a quick bite to eat before they hit the next ride, what have you. So that was the reason I dropped it down to a 4. And I missed the jukeboxes, like I said. Now I'm super excited to try them anytime I see them, now that we know the history. This was a really fun experience to see what made them bring Mels to Universal, because there had to be a reason. And now we know the deep history that Mels has with Universal Pictures. So that'll do it for our Mels Diner review video. We are so excited. That was a fun experience, and we are so glad you were able to join us on that experience. So let us know if you've been to Mels. What is your favorite food? And just let us know what you thought of the video as well. Leave a like, leave a comment, and if you're not already subscribed and you like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe, because we have a lot more coming.
All right, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.